Hello, my name is Hannah LETOURNEAU. I am currently the Mrs. Virginia America title holder, and I will be competing for Mrs. America in just 24 short days. That is correct, yes, 14 years.
Amazing. What do you love in pageantry?
The thing that keeps getting me to come back is one, the camaraderie. I have friends all across the world because I've competed in international pageants before. So I have friends in every single country and state that you can imagine. Being a military spouse, it's always pretty difficult to make new friends wherever you go because my husband's job, we move constantly. We've moved the past 5 years, I've moved over 8, 9 times. So yeah, and it'll continue on throughout our life and our marriage. So being able to be in pageants has allowed me to make friends wherever I go. I'm always finding new sister queens, or I move to a new state and I already have friends there. So that's the first thing that I love about pageants. The second thing, of course, is being able to promote my platform. I love being able to teach others about hospice. My platform's Reach Out and Remember, and it focuses on the 1.5 million people in hospice every single year. And so being able to actually teach people about how hospice, how to get involved, how to get youth involved and children, and being able to help promote others giving back to our elders in our nursing home, that's really what's kept me involved in pageants. It's my hobby. It's something that brings me so much joy. I love it. After every pageant, I'll have it maybe a day where I'm like, maybe I'll take a step back, relax, take an easy year. And I just haven't been able to do that. I started competing at 13 years old in the Miss America Outstanding Teen program. And then I went straight into the Miss program for Miss America. And that I probably took about 3 years off between college and starting my career. And then as soon as I got married, I decided I really want to get back into pageants. Having, like I said, a husband in the military, he's gone a lot. And so it gives me something to focus on that makes me happy when he's gone, that will take my mind off the fact that maybe he's not around all the time. So it's something that's really brought a lot of joy in my life for many years.
I understand your problem because my husband was military too.
Oh, wow, yes, so then you understand, yes.
Yes, but not in United States, in France. And in France, we move not a lot like in United States. We move 5 years, each 5 years.
Okay.
Only. It's more cool because you move a lot, very a lot.
Yes, it's been a lot because of he's done a lot with training for his aircraft. He's a pilot. So he's done a lot for his aircraft. We are normally at a location for 3 years now that he's actually in, I guess the fighter pilot, it's called the CAF, but now that we're in the CAF, we'll be stationed a little bit more permanently than during training. But then also with my career, I've moved a lot for my job as well. And so that's also kind of added to it. So we've moved quite a bit.
What is your occupation?
So I work for, you actually might know it since you like you said, you're from Europe. So you might know the brand. It's called Alfa Romeo. And so I work for corporate. So essentially it's a lot like what being a title holder is. I'm the face of the company for my dealers. I have a total of 10 dealers throughout 5 different states in the South, and I'm their headquarters connection. So anything that they need for sales, service, parts, financing, marketing, sometimes just a shoulder to cry on, any of that type of stuff I help with. So I'm essentially the liaison for the company. So I've been now with Stellantis for 5 years this Sunday. So it's been very exciting. I've traveled over 600,000 miles for my job driving in the past 5 years. So I've miled out a lot of cars. I've seen a lot of dealers, and I absolutely love it. It's something that is always changing every single day. So my days are always different. Yes, so I live every single day, or I try to, as if I was already Mrs. America. That's what I like to do as being the Mrs. Virginia, is trying to embody something that I'm wanting to accomplish. And so I view it as Mrs. America as a full-time job. And I also have a full-time job being a regional sales manager. And it just kind of comes down to scheduling and being able just to balance every single day life between a title, my job, and also my husband, my personal life. And what I love about Mrs. America is their slogan is "We are family." And they really bring in the family aspect of that. They love being able to have the husbands, and if you have children, your children being involved in your reign as well. I've loved how much my husband's been able to be a part of this title with me. It's not only my title, but also his title as well, I like to think. And he's been amazing at it. And so being able to have a partner that's supportive really helps you be able to juggle all those aspects of being a title holder and also just everyday life. So if I was Mrs. America, then, it's just scheduling your life. I work remote right now. With my job, I create my own schedule. So it's really nice that I'm able to go do an appearance and then go see a dealer, or be able to work from home and schedule interviews. So I have the type of job that's very moldable with a title, which is fantastic. I'm very, very blessed for that.
You are so proud to be Mrs. Virginia. You love pageantry, and I see this your passion for pageantry. And imagine you win the crown of Mrs. America. You can manage your job, your full-time of Mrs. America. It's not a problem for your husband.
Not at all. I cannot imagine being able to have that blessing of the title of Mrs. America. It's truly been a dream of mine since I started competing in pageants. At the age of 13, didn't have a boyfriend, wasn't married, but heard that they had Mrs. Pageants, and Mrs. America was a system that even after you got married, you could go compete in. And so that was so exciting for me, even as a teen, because I didn't have to stop something that I loved just because I got married. And so being able to show women that you can truly have it all. You can have a career, you can have a hobby, which mine's pageants, you can have a successful marriage and family life. And being able to showcase that to married women all across the United States and the world would be such a blessing for me, because that's something that a lot of times when you talk to married women, we're always told that you can't have it all and you have to pick and choose, and you physically can't have a career and a good family life and a hobbies. And I think women now are breaking down barriers and showing you can truly have it all. You got to prioritize, you have to schedule. It won't be easy, but it'll be a blessing and it will be worth it. So I would love to be able to show that to married women everywhere across the world.
During my interview with Yolanda Stennett, Mrs. International 2021, she said me, when you love pageantry, you can stop pageantry. What do you think about this sentence?
It's true. It's like a bug. You get bit by the pageant bug and you just can't stop. When you truly love something, it's not something that you can just put on the back burner and just walk away from. If something in life brings you joy and happiness, then you just go all in. And when it stops being something that you love, then maybe take a step back. But when you are involved in something like pageants and it brings you so much joy from within, it's something that you just can't just let go and turn your back and walk away from. I think a lot of women that have actually experienced pageantry know exactly what I'm talking about. There's something about competing, being on stage, being around other women that are like-minded like you, that it's just, you can't recreate it in any form besides being a part of it. And it's just so exciting to be able to be a part of pageants still as a married woman. And so I think she hit the nail on the head with that. When you love something like pageants, you can't just walk away. You have to keep going. Talent?
Yeah, talent.
Unfortunately, no, we don't. I wish we did. I'm actually a singer, and when I competed for Miss America and Miss America Outstanding Teen, that's actually what drew me to the competition, was the talent portion. But with Mrs. America, it is the oldest married women's pageant. And with Mrs. America, we have interview, we have evening gown, on-stage question, and swimsuit. So kind of like the typical just standard pageant parts of competition is what we actually have for Mrs. America. I wish there was talent. hopefully in time, maybe they would add it, but I wouldn't be mad about it.
What is your best asset to win the crown of Mrs. America for you?
I think it's that I'm able to talk to a 5-year-old 1 minute and a 95-year-old the next minute. And that's my communication skills and being able to be a face of a brand. As Mrs. America, it's your job to represent all different types of women, all different walks of life, and being able to talk to our youth and also adults and being able to make a personal connection with someone within 30 seconds. Because a lot of time as Mrs. America or Mrs. Virginia, that's all you have to make someone feel special is 30 seconds. And I think that this is one of the attributes that would make me, you know, a great Mrs. America, is being able to make that type of personal connection with someone, you know, whether it's 5 seconds, 5 minutes, an hour, just being able to make someone feel special and like they were someone that truly mattered to you within that time that you were able to meet with them. I think that's definitely an attribute that I would have to give to the title of Mrs. America.
I read an article last month, and in this article, some people say a spoon, a woman, married woman, have not, I read, a mother, a spoon, have nothing to do on the stage of beauty pageant. What do you think about this?
I think the stage is a perfect place for a married woman or a mother to be. I think, like I said before, a lot of times with mothers and wives, we take a back burner. We put our families first. We put our husbands or our children's first, their wants, their needs, their desires. And a lot of time as a woman, you take the back burner and you take the back seat to make sure that your family is comfortable and their needs are being met. And I think a pageant gives a woman a time for themselves to focus on their happiness, their mental health, their physical health, something that they love and they're passionate about, their platform, giving back to others. It gives them a chance to feel like they can have their own time, along with being able to bring their family into something that they love. Just because you become a wife and a mother doesn't mean that your loves and desires stop. It's actually so important to show your children that I'm married, I'm your mom, but I'm still going after my dreams and ambitions and goals. And I'm going to show you how important it is to have communication skills and give back to your community. It's a wonderful way to be a role model to your children. It's a great hobby to also have your spouse involved. My husband comes to almost all of my appearances. He tries to come to most of my pageants. So luckily, hopefully be able to be at Mrs. America if his schedule is able to come with the military. As of right now, it's looking like he'll be able to come. But as a title holder, it's not just about you. It's about the people that you touch. It's about incorporating your family into it. I love to say that a lot of people think that pageants are an individual sport. I view it as a team sport. It's a team with myself and my husband. That's my family being involved with it. It's my village that is involved with this title. And so I would have to say they're entitled to their opinion if they don't think that women, that's not their place for a married woman to be, but I'd have to disagree with them. So my platform Reach Out Remember focuses on hospice patients and nursing home patients. I work a lot with dementia patients as well. And so one of the ways that I found to connect with them is singing. And I love oldies. I sing a lot of Frank Sinatra, Aretha Franklin, Barbra Streisand, songs that they grew up with. And so I've learned not only just do normal nursing home patients really relate to this and just find great entertainment with it, but the dementia patients, it triggers a portion in their brain that will bring forth memories. And it's amazing to see people that can't even remember their own name or their daughter's name. And magically, when you sing a song from their youth, they're talking about things that they used to do to that song or why they love it or memories that are associated with that song. And so this is one way that I've learned to give back. With hospice, I go in and I sing. I'm a helping hand. I'm just a shoulder to cry on or an ear to listen to. I'll hold someone's hand as they're passing. I think hospice, their message is that you will never pass alone. You will always have support. We are where we are in today's world because of our elders. They've paved the way. And so when they are in their last time of need, I love being able to be that person for them.
I see the Mrs. America platform is Victoria's Voices. Can you tell me about this platform?
Yes, so Victoria's Voice was founded in 2015, and it's for the Seagull's daughter, Victoria. And she actually passed away from substance abuse. And she was 18 years old. She was young, youthful, had her whole life ahead of her. And they didn't see the signs of substance abuse with her. And so they founded Victoria's Voice to, one, create drug education for youth, be able to get Narcan, which is a way to counteract drug overdoses, into the hands of caretakers, EMTs, paramedics, police officers, firefighters, being able to help them counteract that drug overdose to help save lives along with the caretakers. It's to help encourage youth to be drug free and educate them, because a lot of times with parents, schools, they don't know necessarily how to have these types of conversations or lasting conversations. When I was in 5th grade, we had DARE. We talked about it for, I think, maybe a month. And then drug education just stopped from there. And it needs to continue. And you need to know the warning signs. 86,000 people die every year from substance abuse. And not every type of person that has substance abuse problems looks the same or acts the same. And so it's learning on being able to get rid of the stigma that comes along with the thought of substance abuse and being able to spot it. I unfortunately have had friends and family and coworkers pass away due to substance abuse. And looking at their stories and knowing their lives, they didn't seem like the type of person that would have a problem. And I don't think that people were asking them how they were doing, if they were okay. And so Victoria's Voice is to be able to kind of break down walls and barriers of that portion of substance abuse and just making it just more real and something that we deal with every single day. And so being Mrs. America, it's our job to help promote that platform, help with drug education, and being able to encourage others to just have these conversations and just make it a part of a normal everyday life to talk about. I think I would be one of the people that would ugly sob and then jump up. I cannot control my emotions very well when I'm excited. I started jumping up and down and almost crying when I was crowned Mrs. Virginia. I cannot imagine winning Mrs. America and my reaction that I would have. I think it would probably be really funny to watch. I honestly, just thinking about it now, it gives me butterflies. So I probably would cry, I would scream, I would jump up and down, and it probably wouldn't hit me for a while that my dream of winning Mrs. America came true. So I think it'd be pretty entertaining to watch.
Your husband can go to Las Vegas?
As of right now, that's the plan. With him being military, he's actually had to miss some of my pageants prior, but this one, he right now has approval to go. So he'll be able to come and watch me compete for Mrs. America, and which is amazing, especially with Mrs. America having the husbands involved. At my state pageant, my husband was actually gone for training, so he wasn't able to be there. So my grandfather actually escorted me and was there for me that weekend, which was very special to be able to have my grandfather be a part of something that is so memorable. And now having those photos and having those memories, I think is just, it's priceless. So, but yes, my husband will hopefully be able to be there. And as of right now, that's where he's planning on going. He has his flight. He's ready to go. So. It definitely has to do with hospice. And I had a patient that I was singing oldies. I was singing Connie Francis, Where the Boys Are. And it was, I can picture it clear as day. It was a mother and a daughter. And she was sitting there as her mother was eating her lunch. And I was there to entertain. And Where the Boys Are is just one of the songs that I sing. It's part of my repertoire that I will always go to. And I was in the dementia ward. And I started singing, and her mother started mouthing the words and crying. And of course, I thought that I did something wrong. And so after I went up and I was just talking to the daughter, I said, is everything okay? You know, did I say something? Did she not like the song? She goes, no, that was her song with her husband. And she hasn't talked in years. She can't remember her daughter's name. She's mute. And while I'm singing, she's mouthing the words and she's crying. And that in that moment, I didn't, because I was, 17, 18 years old at the time. That was the first moment that I realized the true, I guess, the true effect that music can have on people. And this is what really made me change my whole focus of my platform. What I wanted to give back to is seeing that reaction and knowing that I was able to touch someone's life like that. And that happened on countless occasions where I would have hospice patients start crying. And I had this one man that just big guy, you wouldn't think would have any emotion, started bawling his eyes out when I sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow, because his mom used to sing that to him as a child. So being able to have these emotions from people and being able to touch their lives like that, those are moments that have stuck with me forever and I will take on for the rest of my life. It's definitely cutting out the junk food. So I'm the type of person, I love pizza and carbs, and I love a good glass of wine and pasta, and with working out and eating healthy. And for the swimsuit portion, I need to be able to have a healthier diet than just eating a giant bowl of pasta every day. Moderation is key. So that's been the most challenging for me, is sticking to a healthy diet across the board, still being able to have my cheat meals and be able to still have just a well-balanced diet, but, cutting out a whole bag of Sour Patches that I used to eat. And so that's been the most challenging part of preparation.
Are you a good chef?
I'm surprisingly not. Actually, my husband's the better cook. I'm a good baker. He's the better chef. So we kind of balance each other out, because he'll make a really amazing dinner and then I'll make a really great dessert. So like, this is perfect that we just balance each other. So oddly enough, I'm a communications major. And so that's been the biggest thing with my degree and just my everyday job in life now as a title holder, is just being able to communicate with others and being able to connect with other people. And with my degree that I earned in college, I had a ton of public speaking and being able to learn how to read the room and have a great stage presence. And so that's really been able to be incorporated into my career. And now as a title holder, every single day with my job is essentially like giving a public speech every single day with all of my dealers. I'm having to think on my feet. It's kind of like it's the best way to describe it with my job is it's like an interview every single day, because I get asked random questions. I'm getting asked questions that I might not know or understand or even think of where they came up with these questions. And I'm always having to think on my feet and be able to communicate well back to them. And so being able to be Mrs. Virginia is being able to tie in that part of my degree and my job now into being a title holder, and hopefully the national title holder as well. A Mrs. World, that would be phenomenal to be able to go to Mrs. World. That winning Mrs. America is just a bucket list item in itself and a blessing. Going to compete for Mrs. World would be, can't even put into words how phenomenal that opportunity would be, because now not only are you representing, I think in my mind, one of the greatest countries in the world, which is America, but being able to go and grace the world stage, making connections with women that are like-minded like myself, and being able to meet them from all across the world. And then also being able to promote my platform, not only just across America, but across the entire world. I think what's amazing about our world is how, in so many other cultures, our elders are so important and they put them first. And it's all about family and camaraderie and putting their grandparents and great grandparents first and their wants and their needs. And so being able to talk to them about hospice, I would love to see in other cultures, how they would be involved and the things that they would suggest and being able to learn from them. So I think being able to take my platform to and admit the Mrs. World stage would be phenomenal, the learning opportunities and being able to shine a spotlight on that at an international level at that point would be amazing.
And this year I go personally at Mrs. World pageant. I cover,
awesome.
For the magazine, I cover the pageant in Las Vegas, but for Mrs. America, it's impossible because I move this weekend. in United States. During your pageant, I move. It's my
Oh
last
my
move
gosh.
in United States. But I hope to see you in Mrs. World.
I
If,
hope so too, fingers crossed. And hopefully Mrs. America will actually be live streamed. I know last year they live streamed the pageant, and I'm hoping this year they do as well. So hopefully you'll be able to watch it live stream so you can still
yes,
be there.
I watch all pageant in live stream because I have a abonnement. I have a pay for all year in live stream. I love live stream because I live 6 months in France and 6 months in United States.
Oh, I love that. That's so awesome. I think that would be the most perfect life, and being able to bounce back and forth.
It's very easy to speak with European and Asia when I stay in France, and I work with the United States when I go to United States because the company inside pageant and my publishing house is in Atlantic City.
Oh, I love that. That's so amazing. That just sounds like such a fun life, being able to go back and forth and all the difference in just culture and just in buying food and environments. I think that'd be amazing.
When I go to United States, I eat a lot of junk food. I go for the diet in France.
Mm-hmm.
But I have some kilo to lose.
Yes, I think I haven't been to Europe yet. My husband and I actually wanted to go this year. But just the state of the world, we're like, okay, maybe next year we'll go. But he said just the food is just phenomenal, and everything is just delicious. And he's like, he goes, honestly, you just love everything.
But I have no the body for pageant. I love myself because I have no the body for pageant.
Oh, sorry. It has to, there we go. Bounce back. I had a call come in. I think it would be amazing. So I would love to go to Paris. That's definitely one of the first places that I want to go. That's on my bucket list. So
I have the proposition for Mrs. World pageant. I want to organize the pageant in Paris.
oh, that would be such just a high class event. That would be beautiful.
But for the moment, it's in Las Vegas.
They kind of have Paris there in a sense. They have the Eiffel Tower there in Las Vegas. It's one place where you can just go see multiple different types of.
It's not the same. She's not the same size.
Yeah, I would believe that. It's kind of it's fun size.
Yes. What is your favorite Mrs. America?
I think my favorite I love Brooklyn, of course, who is our current Mrs. America. But I'd have to say my favorite Mrs. America is Natalie, who is Mrs. America 2020. And the reason being is I met her back in February in Texas, and she has been so helpful in preparing for Mrs. America. I message her all the time just to ask tips on packing and suggestions. And I emailed her before I even competed for Mrs. Virginia just to, see what Mrs. America was like and what she loved about it and the parts of competition. And so she's been so helpful. And I think as a Mrs. America, that's what you need to be as a title holder, is someone that, is able to communicate to your local title holders and your state title holders and girls that are thinking about competing. And part of the job is recruiting other women to grow the organization. And I think that she did a phenomenal job with doing that. And, being able to see her be a wife and a mother and, be successful in pageants she's just been a great role model. And so she is definitely one of my favorites.
Do you want to become mother in the future?
I do, actually. My husband and I definitely want children. Right now, I'm 26 years old. My husband's 27. So we have a little bit of time left before we want to start a family. So right now, we're hoping to probably start a family around 30 is what we're wanting to do. With him being military, we're wanting to get through our first deployment. We're wanting to get through our first assignment here in Virginia before we bring a little baby into the world, just so we can kind of see what, you never know what you're going to get with a baby, but hopefully figure out a little bit more the military side of things. So we would hopefully like to have, my husband wants 6 kids. I know, that's what I said too. I would be happy with 2. So he's trying to meet in the middle and say 4, but I think we'll probably, if all things go well, probably 2 children.
You see me before the motto of Mrs. America is we are family. What are you most proud in your family?
I come from a multi-generational family. And so I grew up with my great-grandparents, my grandparents, and my mother, my brother, and I all under one roof. And so I was able to truly see the life changes that my great-grandparents went through. And my great-grandmother saw the first escalator at a state fair. And so being able to talk to her about what life was like when she was growing up to what my life is like, it made me gain so much more respect for our elders. That's one of the reasons I started my platform, Reach Out Remember, was in remembrance of my great-grandparents. And so they were both under hospice, and that's what's made me now cherish those moments that I have with hospice patients, because in a sense, to me, it's still keeping their memory alive. And so the We Are a Family motto that Mrs. America has is just tying in the multi-generational experience that I have with my family now, and it's just carrying on that legacy.
Other pageantry, other than pageantry, what is your hobby?
So I'm a figure skater. That's actually how I met my husband. He's a hockey player. So I met him on an ice rink actually in Colorado. So whenever I'm just trying to decompress and I want, some great exercise, my husband and I will go to the ice rink and we'll go skate laps. And I love figure skating. That's one of my probably third loves. I have quite a few loves, but that's probably one of my third loves. I love figure skating, and it's just so relaxing and soothing being able to be out on the ice. It's so peaceful, and it takes so much strength and endurance. And so it's something that I love. And hopefully when we do have children, a little boy or a little girl, we can get them to love hockey or figure skating, whatever they want to do. But hopefully they'll just love the ice. That way we can be back in it all the time.
You go often in Colorado?
Yes. So I grew up in Kansas City, Missouri. And then my job that I have right now brought me out to Denver for a job interview. And so when I got hired, I moved out to Denver for 8 months. And then I moved to Minnesota for 2 years. And then I moved to Texas for a year and a half. And then Florida for 8 months. And now Virginia for 3 years.
You at the end of the service of your husband, you have visited all states in United States, I imagine.
We've visited a lot. We love to travel. And so we always try to figure out how many states we visited. And I think there's probably about 10 to 15 left that we haven't gone to yet. So we have a bucket list of all the states that we want to go to. But it's, with his career, that's one blessing, is that we're able to see different states. And sometimes, with a lot of our friends, they're even seeing different countries where they're stationed. So it definitely makes it where you're flexible and you're able just to kind of go with the flow. That's one of the things I've learned being a military spouse, is you can try to plan everything and the military will change it around on you at the snap of a finger. So you just need to be able to go with the flow and just kind of let things just happen. I love the history. This state is amazing. I mean, it's one of the founding states. And so being able to see, go to Colonial Williamsburg and Yorktown and being able to see where our country essentially started, it is just amazing. And we're so close to so many historical monuments. And so being able to be in a place with such deep rooted history that started America is amazing. I love the United States. I'm very, very proud of our country, and having a husband that serves in the military, being able to be in a place that helped found America is amazing. And being able to see just the progression of where they started to where we are now is amazing. And so I love how rich our history is. I love all the different things in Virginia, if you want a beach, you have a beach. If you want the mountains, you have mountains. We have vineyards. It just depends on which direction you go in the state of Virginia. So we have a little bit of everything.
Which places I must visit if I go to Virginia?
So you definitely need to go to Williamsburg. Colonial Williamsburg has the governor's mansion. you're able to see, they have basically what it used to look like, and it's adorable. I love going there. And then you can also go to Yorktown. You can kind of see where, you know, the Pilgrims came in and where we actually were founded. Jamestown, I'm sorry, Jamestown. And then what's amazing, then you can go to Virginia Beach and see all the beaches and the resorts that they have down there. I absolutely love Virginia Beach. Charlottesville has beautiful wineries, so you definitely have to go to Charlottesville. I like to think that it's probably a secretive place, but everyone knows of Charlottesville. So,
I must take a week of vacation to visit Virginia.
yes, because then not only that, but you also have, of course, military speaking, you have one of the largest naval bases. And then also a lot of people don't realize that Langley has NASA as well. And not only that, but Langley is special because it has the very first fighter squadron in the Air Force, which is the 27th Fighter Squadron. That's the squadron that my husband's a part of. So there's so much history in Virginia, and it's an amazing place to come visit. So you need at least a week.
To promote your platform, to promote your journey of Mrs. Virginia, you use a lot of social media. You use Facebook, Instagram. Do you have a TikTok?
I have a TikTok, but it's more to watch videos and waste my time than creating videos. I fall into the trap of TikTok like everyone else does.
I'm too older for TikTok.
Nonsense. No one's too old for the silly videos that they have on there.
I have 45. I have 43 in a few days.
No way, really?
Yes.
I never would have guessed.
Yes. And for me, TikTok is impossible. It's for the next generation.
There are moments that I think that as well. I mean, with Instagram, you have reels. I think social media, especially with my generation, and I think the generation above me, we've really seen the progression of social media and networking on social media. And it blows my mind to even think about, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, what my children will be using, because I never would have dreamed that we would even have the social media platforms that we do now.
And what do you think about the power of this social media today?
I think social media can be a double-edged sword. I think it can be amazing on one side, but on the other hand, it can also be detrimental to your reputation. One thing that my mom always told me is whenever you post something, it's out there forever and it can never be erased. And so always be aware of that. And so I've prided myself on making sure that my social media is something that I could have my children one day look at, and I would be proud to show them what I have represented online, my online presence. And so keeping that in mind, I think otherwise, if it's used in a bad way, it can be very detrimental. But on a positive side, I'm able to keep in contact with friends and family members and keep them updated on my life and my husband's life, and people I haven't seen in years, but I still love knowing what's happening in their life and their children's lives now. Social media can be so powerful in bringing people together. You just have to use it for good. So,
and how do you manage to protect yourself and your family from bad comments, from haters?
I think with online social media, I think it's understanding that a lot of people online that might make negative comments are probably not happy with themselves. I've never wanted to get online and make a negative comment about someone else. It doesn't benefit me. It's not benefiting them. And so you have to think of maybe where that person is coming from when they're trying to be negative and bring someone down. But it's making sure that you take whatever you see on social media as a grain of salt. It is so easy to create a fake persona online, and realizing that not everything is real on social media, and understanding that sometimes it's just a farce is a lot of times how you have to look at social media. And of course, you want to be able to be as authentic as possible. But with social media, I only share a little piece of my life. I don't share everything that goes on. And so, making sure that I'm smart in what I'm sharing, especially with my husband's career, I have to be very careful with the things that I do share about him and his job. And so making sure that you use wisdom in what you post, think about what you post, and try to use it for good most of my social media, if you've gone through my Instagram or if anyone does, they'll see someone that's very proud of her family and her husband, someone that is very passionate about the Mrs. America organization, her platform, recruiting other people, being involved with my sister queens and my friends. And I hope that's what is, what people see when they look at my social media accounts.
And what do you make if you have a bad comment?
Luckily, I haven't had too many bad comments as of right now. Fingers crossed. But I do realize that a lot of times when people are making negative comments, not even just online, but just in everyday life, it's coming from a place that maybe that person is not happy with. It's something coming from within for them. So it's sometimes even taking a step back and thinking, why did they comment this? What might be going on in their life that made them want to lash out at someone? And taking a step back and trying to view it from their perspective. And in all honesty, at the end of the day, there's this beautiful delete button. And if it's not something that's positive and uplifting, then I just delete it, because there's so much negativity in this world that we can't get rid of. You can control the comments that you see online. And so being able to delete those negative comments and just try to keep a positive, uplifting outlook is what I like to have. First off, my little fur babies back there, they are the first things that definitely brighten my day and help cheer me up. I love being able to listen to Christian music as well, just to help uplift my spirits. I will take a walk, and I might be one of the weird people, but exercising really helps me with my bad days. It helps me relieve stress and anxiety. I now have found that I have to work out every day to help with the stress of my job. And then being able just to talk it out, calling my mom, talking to my husband, and being able to vent about it is really kind of what helps me on my bad days and try to turn it around, and realizing that you're going to have bad days, and probably, more bad days than good sometimes. And that's okay, because just a little bit of rain at some point, sunshine's going to pop through. And so knowing that the sun is on the horizon, it will get better in time. So you just got to keep your chin up with it. So sorry, I had another call come through. It's just being able to keep your chin up and knowing that, the sun's going to shine one day, and you just got to get through the bad.
If I look in your purse, what is amazing, wow, in your purse?
I feel like I have a pretty boring purse. The thing that I think is amazing in my purse is I organized it pretty well. I have a little pouch that goes in my giant handbag that has pockets for everything. So I think that's amazing. But I would say that might be the most amazing thing in my purse is my little organizational pouch that organizes everything and keeps my life in order. Besides that, though, I have probably an unhealthy amount of gum in my handbag. I always love to have chewing gum on hand. I love mint gum. So you'd probably be amazed by how many packages of gum I have in there.
And what is the essential item you cannot leave your house without?
My cell phone, just like everyone else. I have my personal phone, and then I also have my work phone, and I cannot leave the house without either one. They are attached to my hip. It's terrible to say, but it's my connection with my family who don't live in Virginia. I think we all have this bad habit.
I have a question. My next interview is for Mrs. California America. Have you a question for Mrs. California America?
It's Elizabeth Puce, correct? Her name, it's Elizabeth Puce, right? I love Elizabeth. She was at my pageant when I was crowned Mrs. Virginia. She's actually a previous Mrs. Virginia. I want to say in 2018, I think she was Mrs. Virginia America. But I have to say with Elizabeth, any advice, since she has gone to Mrs. America, what is the piece of advice that she would give someone going to Mrs. America and competing? And what was also the biggest thing that she took away the first time that she competed and learned from? I think knowing that, I love hearing people's experiences at Mrs. America and what they took away from the pageant and the things that they've learned and the things that they might be applying to this round of competing. So I would love to know if she has any advice and what she was able to take away and what she's going to either do the same or do differently competing at Mrs. America this year. And also tell her hello.
Ask me this question in my next interview.
That'll be fabulous. I love it. I can't wait to
You
hear what
have
she
the
says.
answer in the video. My last question for this interview. Have you a message for your fans?
I would just like to thank them for all of the support that they've given me throughout just the years of my crazy adventures and life changes and things that, you know, might not have gone as planned. I want to thank people for always having my back, supporting me, lifting me up, praying for me, and just keeping me on their mind. And that is something that I don't take lightly. And I truly feel the support and the love from all over the world. And it truly means so much to me and my family. So I thank you guys so much for supporting me in every random adventure that I might have.